wearing Jatt uniform and you claim it is Jatt. There are NUP people like Sauda Madada who have Jatt uniform with the medals on it, as you saw there on the first day of nomination. Many of them were wearing black, and some of them would have a name here, Jatt. So to confuse people, they put James. They put different names. But for us, we knew they were trying to imitate the government force Jatt. Our loss, Security had no hand in our loss. Our loss were irregularities conducted by National Unity Platform. Stealing. Even in the presidential election, they stole Muzei's vote. They took 1.5 million, close to 1.5 million. He lost it from them. They could have won by 60%. They are terrible. They are very terrible people. You don't know those people. Babi, nyo. The good spirit. You know, politics shouldn't be that we must win. Because Narukola winning didn't make NUP the majority in parliament. They remain still one of the smallest parties in parliament. NRM is a mighty party with over 500 members of parliament. So congratulating Narukola is humanity, and that is in my personal decision and my personal capacity, not on behalf of government. I never congratulated him on behalf of government. I'm not the government spokesperson. The government spokesperson sits here. So it should have been Honorable Fono Pondo and others to congratulate him. So the CDF requested all journalists to avoid filming security officers who are doing special operations, because you risk their family, you also risk them. So you don't have to film them without their permission. That is the same reason why these soldiers, every one of us is encouraging them to continue using face masks. They should continue using those face masks. It is allowed and it is practical. It is used by the British Army, by the Israeli, by the Naval SEAL, by the Marine. All the best armies in the world are using masks. The reason is to protect their identity so that their families are not endangered. So that was the cause of the thing. But before the CDF apologizes, or before the UPDF and government apologizes, we would like to condemn the acts of National Unity Platform. National Unity Platform provoked the army into action by throwing stones. It's alleged they had over 2 trailers or two trucks of stones distributed amongst their supporters. And that's one of the reasons why many people didn't turn up for voting. Each of the NUP supporters had stones in their bag. Then at the time of vote counting, NUP supporters had pre-marked. I'd already informed you a day earlier that NUP has 30,000 votes that are intercepted, but they ran away with almost 20,000. So that enabled them to go to all polling stations and throw at the time of tallying results. That is how NRM lost. And also NRM lost because there was intimidation by NUP. The NUP people kept going door to door telling people, if you go, we shall stone you. They had these black stones, like swords. Those stones, if they throw a stone at you, live and bleed. So that is where the challenge started, and that is how the provocation started. We must maintain the highest degree of integrity, and as for me, Barugahara Balaam Atenyi, I will never participate in voter bribery or rigging of any form. And as people who serve under the president, he believes in democracy, and he believes in the communities and the constituencies and the nation to determine their leaders or their favorite leaders through good programming. NRM came to power after those instances of voter irregularities. That is why NRM established the Independent Electoral Commission. Security were in place to preserve security. Also, the government had received the information that bad elements were trying to infiltrate to harm people in Kawempe. Like on nomination day, government saved Honorable Narukolola now from getting endangered by NUP people who were intending to endanger him. So they grabbed him. He couldn't know why they were grabbing him. They grabbed him and kept him for some time as they were chasing after the people who wanted to endanger or to harm him. That's how government reacted. But people didn't understand it. And then I'm questioning National Unity Platform. I mean, Uganda is not konyo or Sirikati in South Sudan where you go and buy medals. And you become a general by claim. So you should avoid using army uniforms. You should be good people. And let's work. But the most important thing, you shouldn't provoke the security forces. Security forces, their work was to preserve law and order. Electoral Commission was to ensure transparency in election, and that was the purpose and work of the Electoral Commission. Personally, I never got close to any polling point. I was 200 meters away from each of the polling points. I kept at Imbogo Mosque at the entrance, but I would oversee what was happening. My work was to oversee, observe, not to monitor and count election. I never got in touch with that. But still, during that observation, I was able to identify a NUP agent who had 18 voters' cards. But it's alleged he had over 300. And we've been told, according to the earlier research done, earlier information reaching the desk of intelligence, that NUP had such a person at every polling station. So if we had 170 polling stations, and you send 200 voters card, illegal voters card, at each of the polling stations, how many people would have voted? So we believe NUP could have received over 8,500 votes as illegal votes. That is how they were able even to defeat us. But the defeat, we shall challenge it, and we shall follow what Central Committee has decided, and I agree with the President to constitute an independent investigation to carry out a detailed desk audit on the crimes that happened, and I condemn those acts. However, I stand with the journalists who are endangered in the friendly fire, and we pray for your quick recovery. We shall support you. We shall support you in your rehabilitation, and we promise that won't happen again.